Hey guys, this is Edwin. Welcome once again to this week's Hangouts where we're going to be looking into creating synths. I'm very excited. I've been looking forward to this Hangout. Why is it important to create our own sounds, create our own synths? Well, just like anything, just like any craft, we want to have our own kind of twist in things. I hate to use the word originality because I don't think anything under the sun is original. Everything has already been played. Everything, there's only 12 keys in the keyboard. There's only so much you can quote unquote invent. Everything is reinvention. So it's about learning that, grasping that, and hey, having fun with it. This is going to be a fun hangout. Why? Because it's all about creativity. The way I've been thinking of approaching this hangout with you guys is I'm just gonna do how I'm gonna open. We're gonna be focusing on massive today. So, why? Because it's across the board. One of the most common VSTs, we have, and we all have. So we're just gonna focus on that. I'm just gonna be experimenting with you guys. Any questions or anything that you guys want to know, feel free to type it in the box. And at the end of the episode, I'm more than happy to go over it with you guys. Something awesome that I wanted to also talk to you guys about is this little guy. I've had it for so many years. This MIDI controller. I'm sure you guys are familiar with it. This little guy, he's a warrior. I've had him for like 6 years. I don't know why I said him. I've had this keyboard for like 5, 6 years. It's gone through airports, it's been smashed, and it's still good. So this is great for you guys. Why? Because I want you guys to be carrying this around. Even if you guys don't create anything, just have it in your backpack. Just have it there because that's gonna ingrain in your subconscious. You are a producer, you are creating stuff, and get into that habit of always creating every day. Also, when your biggest producer heroes, they've grasped this, creating their own sounds, creating something that you don't see in the stock sounds. Stock sounds are just great for just throwing out ideas, anything that you want to just throw in, but creating these sounds are gonna give you that individuality, if that's a word. It's gonna really let you express yourself and and show everyone what you're all about. So yeah, guys, I'm very excited. So here we go. So as you guys can see, I'm gonna work out off in Logic. Well, give me 1 second before I forget. Let me get in my headphones here. We're gonna work off on Logic, and I kind of did this on purpose. I worked off on this is Logic 9, obviously it's not Logic X, because I'm a firm believer of whatever it is that you have, be it Ableton, Pro Tools, Logic 9, Logic 10, it doesn't matter. It's all about what you have, what you bring to the table. So yeah, we're gonna work on that. It's not a big deal, especially on what we're gonna be covering here now. I played this keyboard part first, something that just thinking about the hangout, seeing okay, what's gonna get me going. Sometimes a lot of tutorials that I've seen is just very cut and dry. Okay, here's the sound. So here my whole thought process was, well, how am I gonna incorporate to something that's inspiring to me? At that, this was last night, I was just played something and a little motif, and we'll go from there. So here, let me play it for you guys. Very simple, right? Something, just a quick little piano idea. But what I'm gonna do is I'm going to create, just the synth line, something that might go with it, might not, who knows? But that's the great thing about creativity. We're just gonna create. So here, as you can see, also just always I want to ingrain this into you guys. Look at my tracks, everything. This is sort of my template that I use. I got a few piano modules already lined up, some synths, some strings, some guitars, some effects. Why not just so I could be organized? But sometimes, guys, I don't feel creative. Sometimes I'm just like, I don't know what I'm gonna do, and I try to fill in the boxes. As simple as that. I'm like, all right, piano 1, piano 2, you know, and this and that, and that's my whole thing on templates as well. They could really ignite some creativity if you guys are having those days, which I have a lot of those. So here, let's pull up Massive. So as you can see, it's everybody's familiar with this. It's very straightforward, and what's fun about Massive, it really focuses on signal flow. It's very self-explanatory as well. So when you guys open it, if you guys have a computer at home and you guys have it, you know, open it up, you know, you're gonna see here, let's just see the layout for right now. You know, it's a nice little blue kind of, I think of it like a little spaceship kind of you know, outline, I would say. I don't know why it reminds me of that, but anyway, so you're gonna see untitled sound. So sometimes if you guys just want to start in with this, you know, any type of sound, which I'm gonna just, we're gonna explore and see what sounds it, you know, it brings in. And also a lead line that I have here, I already have a lead line here for you guys, and it basically mirrors the piano part. So that way, you know, I'm not, you know, trying to listen to this. That way we could just focus on creating something, right? It's here. So here, so you guys could hear it. Let's oh, and something else before I forget, before I get too ahead of myself. When you want to start off fresh, let's go to File, guys, and let's put New Sound. So if you guys haven't done that yet, I'll wait a few seconds. So here in the towards the middle, File, New Sound. That way, if you guys been working on something else, if you guys have actually, go to File and save your sound before anything. That's cool also, you know. Something great I like to do as well. Sometimes, you know, creativity just doesn't come, right? It just, we all have those days, the pros have them. So just, hey, just open your DAW of choice and just start creating sounds and save them. You know, save 10 or do something, and don't take yourself seriously. That's the great thing about this, about creating. Don't take yourself too seriously. So let's do New Sound. And let's here, let me so New Sound, let me play it for you guys. Right, it's just very straightforward, and we're gonna go into the different types of waves. We're gonna go into the sine wave, triangle, sawtooth, the different types, and what are the different, and how they're gonna help you to understand what it actually, you know, means and all that stuff. So let's start, you know, just exploring Massive, right? You open it, you have sounds that are already there, right? You have octaves, sub, right? And these are things, you know, I know these are things that I'm sure we're all familiar with, and you're like, well, Edwin, why are you playing these? I thought this was about creating your own synths. Well, there's nothing wrong with creating your own synths out of some presets as well. Keep in mind, there's nothing new under the sun. At least that's what I believe. There's nothing new under the sun. So that's something I like to do. Is some, if you know, if you want some presets and start creating off of that, definitely do that. But right now we're gonna start from scratch. So let's go to File, New Sound. It's gonna reset everything. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna start the way we start off is like the way we start off reading a book. Anything, we're gonna start off on the left, right? The oscillators. You guys see here. You got oscillator 1, oscillator 2, and oscillator 3, and these are gonna be like your engines, right? These are gonna be the main engines, the main. Think about these like the machines that are gonna throw out certain sounds. They're gonna throw out certain waves, right? So let's click on oscillator 1. Now what I mean by click, whenever you guys see here on Massive, whenever you guys see here the blue dot highlighted or unhighlighted, that means it's active, right? And that's the think about it, like if you're on a console, you click the unmute button, or like even the solo, it's activating it, right? Obviously that the example I use is you know, just to solo this out, but to solo a certain thing out on the console. But this, every time you know, you want to activate it, just click on the blue one. And that's the great thing about Massive and a bunch of VSTs. But I feel like Massive is very easy on this. If you want to hear it, you know, something you want to control, and you want to take off, you want to see how it sounds, definitely that's what it's for. So let's start with oscillator 1 here. So we have OSC, which means oscillator. We have pitch. What does pitch mean? Basically, think of it as the pitch, what octaves you want them. If you want them up, if you want them high, you go up to number 24, 34. You could go up to 64. You know, it's in the different keys you're using in different octaves that will be going by 12s. And think about it as a keyboard. And actually, guys, something, if you guys want to type in the box, I've been thinking about going even over theory with you guys. I'm more than happy to go over it with you guys. The same way I'm approaching this, very simple. I'm not gonna go into, it's not gonna be very textbooky, because what I'm focusing on is for you guys to produce records, right? There's best producers in the world. A lot of these best producers in the world never had a theory class, and they just learned the basics, what's important, you know, the 4 chords, the 3 chords, the money chords, quote unquote, which there is such thing, but we'll go over it. So let me know, you guys, if you guys want to know about this. Definitely. So 12, you have here your keyboard, right? So you guys see it here. You got from C, which is this. C is between these two black keys, so C, and then you look for its twin going up to C. That's 12 semitones. So what do I mean by 12? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So things like that, definitely I want to go over it with you guys. So going back to Massive, that is exactly what I mean here. But let's keep the first one at 0. Why? Because we wanna hear how it actually sounds, right? So okay, oscillator. Now we're gonna go here. We got square, we got square saw, smooth square, sine square, poly saw. Like, what does this mean, Edwin? What does all this means? What this means is, as you guys could see on the top, basic, right? Why does this say basic? Because that's, once again, this is the engine. So this is the main sound source that we're gonna get out. So for example, when you see sine wave, right? So you guys see here sine, let me see here. For example, the sine square. What does this mean? So a sine wave is, you're gonna see it, it's the purest waveform. So if you search on Wikipedia, it's the purest waveform, and that's at 110 hertz. So that's sine wave, it's the purest waveform you have. And then we're gonna go, for example, here we have sine triangle. So sine triangle is 3 times to 5 times to 7. It multiplies. It's a frequency above the fundamental frequency, and that when you see the triangle, it just, you guys see the triangles. Well, that actually means something. You could look into the physics of it. It's very, very interesting. But those exact numbers are, for example, you got 330, 550, and 770 above the fundamental frequency that you're playing, that is played, right? So that is the triangle. You got the square. The square one, it's the richer sound of it. The square one only adds harmonics. It adds harmonics to the actual note that you're playing one. So you know, when you guys see the square, it's literally a square. So keep in mind that's gonna affect your actual source, your sound source. So you're gonna get the different types of sounds. Higher, it's not just, oh, why is it higher, why is it why is it this, there's certain mathematical reasons. So that's essentially what it is. So let's hear them. As you guys could see, we can't hear nothing. Why? Because the oscillator's not on. So keep in mind also, guys, when you guys don't get frustrated, when you guys are like, why is this not sounding, it's usually because things like that, So I did that actually on purpose. That way you guys could see, okay, what would happen. There's no sound, that's where it is. Right? Very sine square, very, very safe. Now you guys heard that dampen is the different frequencies that it's playing with. So now this one, you guys hear the harsher one. These guys are this is like as you see, poly saw, the sawtooth wave. These are the ramp, where you guys see it. It's like a ramp wave, and it just cuts off. So these ramps are, the front of it is the triangle, the same fundamentals as the triangle. Remember the 3 times, 5 times, 7 times, and the back of it is the square. That richer sound. Now, why am I focusing on this? Because I want you guys to actually know what these actual shapes mean. You know, it's fun to play with them, and keep in mind, I don't memorize everything. I noted that the actual numbers down, because I don't remember, but I want you guys to know the fundamentals of why these things are happening. So there it is. So let's just play around with it. So those are the basic waveforms that we have. Then we could get into analog. That's cool. Acid. I like this one by the name of Acid. There's no reason why. It's just I just like it, right? So these spectrums, you're gonna see the spectrum is self-explanatory of the different of the waveform. You know, you want to add to it. Definitely, you could play around with it. Now here, what you guys could see is we have the positioning, the intensity, and the amps, the amplifiers on these. And I'll go into this because we're gonna be connecting from this section, from this middle section. We're gonna be, dragging up this, and that's what's cool about Massive. You could really make it your own kind of thing, and we're gonna explain it within the next few minutes. So here, F1, filter 1, filter 2. This is the amount that's the amount of audio. I mean, signal, not audio. Sorry, because we're not in audio yet. Keep in mind, this is not audio. That we're still creating our sounds. Audio is when you convert everything, when everything is already printed. That's actual audio. So here, if you go up, that means this is going only to filter 1, which is right here. If you go down, this is filter 2, right? So let's actually try this out. So filter 1, you could use a low pass filter, high pass filter, high pass, double notch, sorry, band pass, things like that. Scream. This Scream is, I know we have a lot of dubstep fans here, so Scream is gonna be your best friend. Use that for a lot of dubstep. We're gonna hopefully, if we have enough time, the whole wobbles and everything, definitely, which is more advanced, but definitely I'll try to go into that as well. That is a lot focused on the dubstep. So let's hear how it sounds. Gives it a grunger because of the sound source is not so obviously dubsteppy right now. Definitely we're gonna see how I'm gonna switch in a little bit. So this is low pass, same thing as EQing, the EQs that we use, cutoffs, resonance. Definitely the same thing, you know. You're playing with the resonance, and what's great about this is that you get to have fun. You start creating your own stuff. Awesome. Now here below we have filter 2, and in this filter 2, same thing with the different things that we're talking about. You could add something else. Obviously you wouldn't add a low pass, so let's first focus on the low pass. Let me add this. Perfect. Now things like this are gonna really help you, just really, design your own sound, and play around with it. There's nothing better to do when you're in this state to just play around with things. I would recommend, if you're in a session, if you're producing, if you have an artist, if you have a fellow writers there, do not do this. Do not start experimenting when they're there, because it's you're gonna get into a zone where you start experimenting things and they're just waiting for you. So do this on your own time. Do this when you're doing that extra work, that work that nobody sees, the behind, I call it the behind the scenes things, that way you know what these exact mean. So definitely don't do this in a session, just a word of advice, because I've seen producers do this and it just kind of kills the whole vibe. So oscillator 2, which is right here, oscillator 2 is basically gonna add on the first oscillator, and this oscillator for the second oscillator, you could do things. For example, I like to add some basic kind of deals to it. For example, let's bring this down to what we're talking about, -12. Got this. I'm literally just there's nothing here that I've thought about. Yeah, I'm literally just clicking and seeing what it's gonna give me. See here what is going on. Here we go. Let's see if I can change. So as you can see, I'm adding another layer. And keep in mind, guys, when we're filtering, when we're doing this, and some of you may ask, well, why don't we do that, with an EQ outside the module? Because that's the first thing I thought. But keep in mind, we're designing a sound here. We're not EQing it. So if it's gonna be a tiny sound, if it's gonna be a much bassier sound, we want to do it here. That way we don't have to worry about having an EQ there. Then we have to print it because it's the actual sound source. We don't want to send it off to a mixer with that EQ. What if he doesn't have that EQ, or what if it gets discombobulated in the middle of the whole set? We don't want to do that. We want that audio, if it's going to be part of the sound, print it. So keep that in mind as well. If it's part of the sound, we print that. So printing also involves this, creating it from right here. Perfect, guys. Now here in the filter, we have a filter 2. Same thing. And the great thing about this is with these, you guys see F1, F2. This is where you guys could gauge how much you guys want of each filter. And that's what my favorite part of this is. You could, if you want to add more, if you want to add less. And the reason this sound is the way it is because it goes with the actual piano. Perfect. And remember, guys, if you guys have any questions, please put them in the box. I'm more than happy to go over it with you guys. I would really just enjoy dialoguing with you guys. And this is one of my favorite things, is just being creative, because there are no rules. And that's the great thing about this, about a Massive, that there are no rules. You could really do whatever it is that you want. They've really done it. They really designed it to the point where you could just literally drag and drop. What do I mean by this? Well, let's go to the next part here, which is here. These you guys may see it. It's gonna be either, regardless of wherever it starts. There's different sections, you guys have here the voicing section, the routing section, all these, and like, what does all this mean? Well, what this means is that you could actually really start working on the little things, start affecting each sound as the original source, right? Well, let's say it wants to, for example, bend, it wants to, you want to affect the envelopes of it and really get into the nitty gritty things of it. You could definitely work on it, and it's very easy, guys. All you guys got to do, it's literally here, right, when we're working on this, right? Now, if you guys could hear just a quick little fun quiz, this wavelength that we have here, I would love for you guys to let me know what kind of wave is it. Is it a sine? Is it a triangle? Is it a sawtooth? And obviously, it's going to be switching the more I go. But just for example, this one, what kind of waves are we working with? I'd really love to hear from you guys. So right here, you guys, as you guys can see, these are the velocities. You guys have the attack, which you could say does the same thing. And here, as you guys can see here, you know, if we bring it lower, depending on the shapes that we're creating, and you guys could create any shape you guys want, it's gonna start smooth, or it's gonna start abruptly. You know, for example, if the attack is right up the gut, it's gonna hit it right away. You know. It even sounds like if it's getting keyed in, which is very, very cool about this. It's like it even sounds like you're keying it in into different things. You could even pulse it and all those things. So that's very cool. Awesome. So what I wanted to go over something else real quick with you guys. For example, this envelope, sorry. What you guys could do is actually drag them to the different things, like for example the intensity, the different things that you guys, the amps. So for example, and the beautiful thing about this, as you guys could see, all I did, guys, I literally created, and the reason I'm focusing on one, because I want to go over all of them, but the same principles apply. You click on this and you bring into whatever, if you want to use it for cutoff on the filters, you could use that. If you want to do it on, for example, on the screen, you could use that as well. That's what I was talking to you guys about earlier. You know, you guys could really move things around, which is really cool. And you guys may be saying, well, that doesn't sound too it doesn't sound too, oh man, I'm impressed. Well, the thing what I want to tell you guys is, when you guys are creating sounds, you guys are not so much focusing, okay, you know, how is this gonna do this, unless you guys are like copying a sound that you guys really like. But for example, what happens a lot, if you guys really keep this and start creating sounds, what's gonna happen is, let's say right now, if I'm creating this sound for this piano track or whatever, that I just literally just did it, right? Something may come out of this, and I'm just gonna wipe out the piano, which I might do right now, and then just start from that. Why not? Well, let me see what I could do here. And while I'm doing that, guys, I wanna go over. So here you guys have the different envelopes that you guys, same principle that I talked to you guys about this. The only difference is that you guys have more control of each. You know, it's the same thing. It wouldn't make sense for me to go over each one if they're the exact same thing, right? But even this, I'm just literally, you could, you know, get creative. The oscillator 3. Same thing, and then we're gonna go over a bit over modulation oscillator as well. Nonetheless, I would really love to get your feedback. I want to get to know what you guys are really having trouble with. Let's say massive or sound design as well. So let me know as well. So yeah, so here we have the LFOs. And these LFOs, you could really control the different things, the different motions of the different frequencies, the different filters as well. And here you guys have the different types of waveforms, which I want you guys to tell me what are these different types of different types of waves. You know, I really want you guys to get familiar, instead of it being like, oh, it's the scribbly line or it's the wobbly line. No, you know, it's like, oh, this is a sine wave, this is a triangle wave, this is a sawtooth wave. You know, that way, not only is that going to help you understand it, but when you're talking to fellow producers, they're gonna be like, oh wow, he really does know what he's talking about. Those are the little secrets of, you know, being successful in this industry. You know, little things like that are really gonna get you ahead, trust me, guys. So we got the LFOs, and then this performance. This is what I'm excited about. Before I run too much, before I run out of time, I want to show you guys this, because this is really cool. This is something that you guys could really take advantage of. Here, you perform is the different, you guys could see the different ways that you guys could work with, but here, check this out, stepper, right? So this stepper is gonna really, you guys seen it in different VSTs, but these are the different steppers where, you know, your sound can just start getting different patterns. What I like to do is just randomize, you know, randomize different things that are gonna help your creativity as well. You know, here, what you guys could do here on the sync, you guys could change it as well. And obviously it's going at the rate of your tempo, whatever that may be, right? So things like that really are going to help you. The amp modulation, what it does is basically it's modulating certain steps, the different patterns that it's creating. It works on that. So experiment with that as well. So that's what this one is for as well. And once again, guys, any questions you guys have, let me know. I'm more than happy to go over it with you as well. So yeah, check this out. Experiment with that step here in the eighth step. Same thing, guys. And the great thing about this is, look, remember what I was talking to you guys about? You guys could literally drag it, just put it there, and then experiment. There's no wrong answer. This is literally just you, just trying things out. That is what sound design is, really. So yeah, any questions, guys, let me know. I'll be more than happy to cover it with you guys. So yeah, so that's the outline of creating your own sound. Now here, when you get into modulation, you're gonna start creating different modulations, but this one I wouldn't say hesitant, but I want you guys to know that when you're modulating, you got to start clashing a bit with different keys. You know, you're gonna start clashing with not even semitones, but in the middle, in the 100 cents. You know, so be careful with that, because then I don't want you guys to have some synths that are out of tune and be like, well, why is this out of tune? When you guys are modulating, make sure your pitches are on the even numbers, not so much the odds, unless it's like if it's some wonky sound, definitely use those. But especially for modulation, make sure you modulate within the key, meaning key wherever it is that you are, you know. Here in MIDI, this piano is actually in E flat right now, so we're in E flat. So I'll make sure that everything is in E flat. I don't want anything in F. I don't want anything in E either, because that's a semitone. So you're gonna hear some weird stuff on there as well. So that's very important in creating your own sounds, especially if you're feeling inspired. You have a track going, you want to create something that is out. You know, that's something you. Make sure it stays within the key, or else you're gonna get annoyed. You're gonna be like, why isn't this working? What's not working? Is because we're not in the actual key. And then these macro controls are really cool. They're really cool because they really control your actual MIDI keyboard. Even though this little keyboard looks like this one, the one I have. Once again, guys, if you guys are just joining us, make sure this is really cool. Little guy, and the reason I don't endorse them, but the reason is because I've had it since I was in school a long time ago, and it's been all over. It's been in a lot of bags, a lot of planes. It's been smashed. My little brother, I think, tried to eat it once, and it's still working great. And the great thing about this, it has a sustain pedal. and the sustain pedal, it's hard to find on these little keyboards, especially if you just want to carry it around. I mean, if you're at work or something, you know, and you're just like, I just want to create some stuff during lunch, you know, just carry that thing around. It's not very big. It actually fits, if you guys can see, it fits in the screen. So yeah, and it's very lightweight, and it could take some beating. So definitely look into that. And I don't think it's too much, 60, 70 bucks, but it's a good investment, guys, instead of you guys carrying the big old keyboard, which I love as well. But definitely it'll be something handy. So once again, macro control, different things that you could control. Same thing, guys. You guys could drag it, velocities, you guys could drag it into different oscillators, definitely make different patterns. And if you guys are happy with something, and I want to go over this with you guys as well, if you guys are happy with a certain setting, something that you guys love, I'll show you guys how to save it as well. So here to the right side, you got the different amps, the different type of amps that you guys could use. Also, once again, you guys could control that with the keyboard, different things as well. So let's experiment. Not sure if you guys could hear, but I was not getting any sound. So let's see what's going on here. Interesting. No worries. So since right now what happens is there's no sound, I'm like, what's going on? Well, we're gonna figure it out. But before that, I want to make sure that I save this. So what I want to do is just save it. Make sure you guys are make sure you guys are saving it, being organized with your sounds. So something you guys could do is, you know, Shift Command N. That's gonna give you a new folder. So let's put massive sounds, and I'll put with my Hangout friends. Happy face. All right. So now we have this. And then, so it's like, okay, this is experimental. So let's organize it in a folder, experimental. Let's save that. Let's save, let's put pingy sound. All right, awesome. And let's start, let's see what's going on. And the reason I saved it is in case I move something that I wanted to save, I don't have to worry about it because it's already saved, right? Sorry, let's do this. Sometimes just perfect. Here we go. So like I was mentioning to you guys, here you guys have different amps, the different things you guys could really focus on, different pannings as well. And this is gonna be focused from the different modulations, the different filters that you guys adding to it as well. Effects one as well. Effects, this first effects, you guys could personalize it. For example, this is what I would do. Let's say, excuse me, I have this right here. Just put it here. We're adding to it. Let me get, so here, you guys, this is the great, another great thing. If you guys want to add reverb, make it part of your sound. What do I mean by making part of your sound is that's it. It's part of the sound. It's going to get printed that way. So if it's a lot of reverb and it goes to the mixer, he's not going to be able to take off that reverb. So make sure you guys I'll actually have a good balance on that. So let's use something here. We got the dry wet. Awesome. And as you guys could hear, the reverb. You guys could hear how big it is. You have the dry wet knob. This is the wetter it is. Obviously, as you guys know, the wetter it is, the more reverb you're gonna get. The drier. It's like how close are you? How far are you? A lot of people. Another good metaphor I use it, not I used, a friend used, was like, how deep are you in the cave, how out are you in the cave, things like that. Same thing. That's gonna come in handy for different VSTs as well. That's essentially what it means. Size, when you see size, guys, it usually means how wide you want it, how close you want it. It doesn't mean necessarily that you're getting put in a room. It's just a different, it's modulating it for you. So it's opening it up and it's closing it down for you. A density, it's how heavy you want. So it'll add some mids into that. And the color, it's really gonna affect it. It's gonna make it tingier. It's gonna make it a bit thicker as well. So these are the different things also. So yeah, guys, if you guys have any questions, anything, please let me know. I'll be more than happy to go over it with you guys. So this is a good, I think this is a good just introduction to creating your own sounds. Please let me know any cool sounds that you guys have. How I'm thinking even do something fun with you guys. Let's make something like within a week. Let's all make, I don't know, maybe make a folder and just upload our own sounds and just share with each other, because they're all sounds, right? And the great thing about this is, as we were mentioning when we're saving sounds, so here, right, guys, I'll let you guys see through the great thing about this, even when you're working with producers, any sounds, these KSD files, look how big they are. They're 2 kilobytes. They're super small. So anything you want to send out, even if we want to share, if you guys want to talk with amongst each other, I'm more than happy to create some side of like some sort of student folder where we could all share our own sounds. Anything that you guys will, I'm more than happy to upload anything. You guys, hey, can you send me a wobble preset? I'm more than happy to do it for you guys and send it to you guys. But I don't want you guys to get in the habit of, hey, just send me stuff. I want everybody to just collaborate. It doesn't matter how bad you think the sound is, because hey, what you may think it's bad, I may hear it and be like, oh, this is cool, you know. So things like that, definitely let me know if you guys want to do something. I'm thinking of like students having their, you know, some way we could all communicate any share sounds, any sounds. When I say share sounds, I'm not meaning share VSTs, because I'm opposed to you know, getting these kind of sounds. You know, please support these companies, because you know they're the same musicians as us. The designers of these are musicians like us. But you know, presets, anything like that, definitely. If you guys are excited about that, I'm more than excited. So let me know, and then I'll you know, pass it to my higher ups. So yeah, guys, any questions or concerns, make sure you guys type it in, and yeah, and I'll be more than happy to go over you guys. All right, I'm excited. Hey guys, so I hope you guys enjoyed it. Definitely went over a lot of cool stuff, and what I'm gonna do right now is just answer some of your questions. So here we go. First, a question by Burrow in Oscillator 1, OSC 1. Does W1 position mean wavetable position? Yeah, exactly. It means exactly that, where you're positioning it, which basically what it does is, not to get into nuts and bolts of things, but the way it modulates it. But yeah, definitely that is what it is, the wavetable position, and where do you want to actually positioning it at. Okay, what's the next one? Let's see the next one. By Burrow, do you read your synth manuals, or only got it when you're trying to figure something out? So yes, I'm a big fan of reading manuals, but it's like anything. It's like trying to drive a car and trying to you just read the manual and then driving a car. Two exact different experiences, right? I'm all about reading manuals, but also coming in with a creative mind. That's what I'm all about. Just coming in with a creative mindset, coming in with that creative thing that's gonna make you find little tips and tricks that the manual might not necessarily have. Jonathan, I know it goes oscillators, filter, amp. Is modulation the last step to add more characteristics? It is, but not necessarily. This, for example, Massive, the way they have it feature, and you could actually interchange it. it's not, there's no such rules. Sometimes I do use oscillators, then I put amp, and then filters. It's really up to you. Sometimes I even do it through EQ, and then I'll print it out. But it's really up to you. There's no rule per se on those. Let me see the next one. Jonathan, what makes give me a second here. What makes a synth sound fatter, brighter, and wider? What I like to do a lot, just to get it kind of fat, I like to add a little bit of distortion. A little bit of distortion, and not too much, but a little distortion to a point where when you're playing your whole track, and might be after you're in a good space with your track, add a little bit of distortion. You're gonna notice some grit to it, and that's essentially what I read from your question, adding that grit. Definitely try to play with distortion as well. And not just the VST's distortion. Try to add like a guitar amp or something that it's not too in your face, but it's gonna add that little bit of sauce, a little bit of flavor to it. All right, let me see. Jonathan, where do we send requests for specific webinars, like one on compression or organizing samples? Well, actually, Jonathan, great question. On that, I've touched on a few hangouts on the organization, on compression as well, in different things. I've definitely touched that, but any requests that you may have, just email them to me, to Menjivar at RRF.edu. So it's E and then MENJIV as in Victor AR at RRF.edu. And also you could do it at submit at RRF.edu. I think that would be easier, actually. Just submit at RRF.edu. Now let me see, and you're also gonna see it on the chat. You're gonna see it there as well, so it'll be much easier for you guys. All right, let me see. Do we have any other questions? And also, guys, something that I love to see while I'm working, I see in the chat, you guys are talking amongst each other. You guys are, bouncing ideas off. That is great. Don't be shy, you guys. Start networking. Start practicing now, because that is going to be the basis of the whole real world. This is about music. Network. Be like, hey, so-and-so, what's your email? And let me send you some stuff. Or what do you think about this? What do you think about this? That's why we do these things, guys. So you guys could talk and build that camaraderie amongst yourselves as well. Let me see if we have one. Okay, doesn't seem like it. All right, guys, last thing I want to mention for you guys, especially our graduates, it's always good to keep on learning. Our Learn from Legends program is here, and we're also offering a scholarship, and it's very easy. What you guys have to do is just create, and you guys could see more information about that on our page as well. Just create a clip on a day in the life of what it is to be a working be a producer, engineer. Just be creative, search other videos online and make it yours, and and submit it to us to get that scholarship. And also, anybody that is not involved with the Recording Connection, or that wants more information, please do not hesitate to give us a call. We're more than happy to give you more information about what we're all about that one-on-one. Keep in mind, the Recording Connection is the only school that puts you one-on-one in a professional studio. And I mean, you can't beat that, right? And it seems like we're that's it, guys. Thank you guys so much. It's been exciting. It's been fun to hang out with you guys. Anything, let me know. Any questions, you guys have my email, or you guys could just submit it at submit@rrf.edu. Take care, you guys, and have fun creating music. Bye bye.